Mondays mean packing days. So we're going to dive through some of these orders from Saturday's show, and I'm going to share with you some of the books that were purchased, show you some of the bundles that were made, and quite the variety of books that we sold this weekend. Give you a little bit of an idea of what types of things sell on Whatnot for me and what I find does really, really well and will almost always sell. Books that I'm maybe surprised sold, and whatever else comes up. So we are just going to be doing a random pack with me video. I need to start moving all of these books from this room to the room next door. And as I'm doing that, I'm just going to show you any of the piles of books that I think are good honorable mentions. I just want to kind of show and share with you guys that after process. I can show you all day sourcing and all the books that I go and buy, but I really want to show you what it looks like the books that actually sell, because I have books that are on my shelf that haven't sold yet, but these have. Let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to show you up close what some of these look like. I'm going to show you the layout. This is post Saturday, so let's flip around real quick. Post Saturday, this is what we are looking like. So all of the stacks down here on the ground are bundles, and then starting over here, this little bit right here, this is all auctions. So this is the only auctions I did. I only probably did about 15 auctions or so. And then other than that, everything is bundles. And if I remember, I think I saw the number 44, but this doesn't look like 44 orders. So I'm not sure how many it is, but I will let you know. So I actually just counted, and it's definitely 44-ish because this down here is 42. So there's two more that aren't individual bundles, maybe from the Buy It Now or auctions. But yeah. All right. So let's go ahead and start processing. What I'm basically going to be doing is going to my seller dashboard and start from the top of my orders in alphabetical order and pulling all the bundles from this room to the room next door. You guys have probably seen me do this before. I'll try to see if I can put up a cue card of the video where I showed you kind of what that looks like utilizing the seller dashboard to organize your orders from sold to ready to ship. That kind of makes sense, but that's what I'm about to do. Typical Monday. That's what I do every Monday morning. All right, so let's get started organizing, and I'll start pointing out books to you all. All right, so I have my computer pulled up here, and I'm going to open up my seller dashboard. Obviously, I have the camera facing me and the books down here, so you're not going to really be able to see what I have, but let's see. How many orders do we have? I basically am just going to be pulling up the latest show. I just kind of always like to open up the page that's on Chrome and refresh it. I feel like that's just the easiest way. And yeah, so it is 44 orders. So it's going to be 44 total orders. And I just put it into alphabetical order. At the top of the screen where your orders are listed, you're going to see something titled recipient. If you click on that, it'll reorder it however you want it. And I always just like to make it alphabetical so that A is at the beginning and Z is at the end. So now I'm just going to go through and start picking these orders, and we'll see what we come across. So first order is, they had the raid giveaway and a bundle. And so go and grab, this was the raid giveaway here. And then, and then it's literally just searching for the person. After the first few orders, it'll get easier to find them. Some of the people you'll recognize the books that they ordered, and some people you will take forever trying to find because you just can't find them. But this is our first order. So for the raid giveaway, I love to do little journals and notebooks, and so this is just a beautiful little lined journal, and that was our raid giveaway. And then this person, she didn't order anything super crazy, but it is a little variety. We have this beautiful copy of the Better Home and Gardens cookbook. We have a large print copy of this Dolly Parton James Patterson mashup here. Maze Runner, kind of a classic at this point, and another kind of classic, Toni Morrison's Paradise. So quite a little variety. We have cookbook, we have adult books, classics, and young adult. And then she's also getting this great little freebie in her order. And then let's go ahead and grab our second one, which is actually just an auction win, 12 to 15 book 3. So I go over here to where my auctions are. And this is actually the only book she got. And this is a nice little thing to mention, I guess. This is Colleen Hoover's Verity. And it's actually really beat up. I don't know if you can tell, but it is quite damaged. Got a lot of wrinkling. And this was just a $2 book. So great little deal on Verity there. For a little context, normally Verity is a $4 or $5 book for me. Colleen Hoover's typically a $4 or $5 book, so that was a really good deal. Alrighty, next two orders we have Ashley, and this was a new buyer, so I don't off the top of my head recognize what they had in their pile. Sometimes you can look at the image. It's a little helpful to try to find it. Let's see what their image is. Oh, it's these. So that was really cool. So this was a new buyer, and they came in and just bought 2 hardcover Magic Treehouse books. These are titles that are a little tougher to come by out in the wild, and these were $2 each. So she got a great deal on those. I have tons of Magic Treehouse, and I usually just do like $2 on those. And then our next order was in another auction win, 2 to 3 pounds book 1, which was this one. Nope. This one. Yeah, 2 to 3 book 1. And this was a beautiful copy of Grimm's Fairy Tales. It's a hardcover jacketed, very clean, complete more than 200 of the classics. And this sold for $6. Next up, we have 2 bundles for Blue and then book 4 to 7, 1. So Blue ended up making 2 piles. Here is one of them. And the other right here. Yeah. Okay, so these were Blues. These were nothing special. We had workbooks, just regular books, young adult and kids. It's a lot. This is a very regular pile, honestly. It's a little blend of young adult, no adult. It's all young adult, kids, and kids. These are workbooks. So no adult in this book stack. And then 4 to 7 book 1 was more young adult books. So this person definitely enjoys their young adult. All right, and then we have Brittany Hope. We can probably grab that while we're in here too. And I know this was a little bit of a bigger pile. Brittany Hope. Here it is. So this is a pretty fun pile. I'll definitely show you guys some things that are in here. So we have like Look and Find books. We actually went through all of the Christmas books on Saturday's show, which was a lot of fun. So this person did grab some Christmas books, and then just some more picture books. This was a cool one, Things to Draw. These are, anytime they're unused, they're prompts, and then someone can draw on them. The Gooseberry Farms cookbooks have been doing really good for me. These little like spiral clawed Gooseberry Farms. And then board books. We've got Touch and Feel, some just really cute little board books. So this whole bundle sold for $33. And the buyer paid just a little over $11 in shipping on this bundle. So $33, $11 in shipping. And just for context on this one bundle, cost of goods, $5.25 for this bundle is how much I spent. So just context there. All right, so let's go ahead and bring these 2 orders over. This is a regular buyer. Always has a nice little variety. Definitely some adult and some kids blended in there. We've got Winnie the Pooh, kids historical fiction, Amish / like home, what is it? Like, just like Amish romance style things, like Amish romance, Minecraft, Rick Riordan, Magic School Bus. So a nice little variety. And then they also won 2 items on auction, 12 to 15 book 2, which was such a good grab. I can't wait to show you guys this one. And then 1 to 2 book 5. So 1 to 2 book 5. She actually ended up using a coupon on this one because it says her sales price is $0. So this one must have auctioned up towards like $4 or $5. But yeah, so no, I don't know what the actual sales cost on that one was. But this one was really cool. This is Disney's Pocahontas, The Sparkling River. And this one is an actual vintage Pocahontas book with some sparkling pages. And it's 1995, which was crazy. And this one actually sold for $7, which is awesome. So that's perfect. Disney stuff just sells really well, guys. If you don't know that, just learn that because it's very important. All right, and then I can also grab this one. It's a small one. And I just knew it was right there. Cassie. All right, I have 2 more bundles I just pulled for some context for you. So next up, we have this awesome bundle. This is a lot of kids books for sure. And like I said, we did go through Christmas books, which was a lot of fun. And they ended up getting 3 really good Christmas books. We had Construction Site on Christmas Night, Elmore, the Christmas Moose, and an Otis Christmas. So these are, for context, in my opinion, books that are going to range upwards of $15 to $20 at any name brand bookstore like your Barnes and Nobles or Target or anything like that. And all of these books were $3 each. I think Construction Site was $4, but the other ones were $3. So great deal on those. And then we had just like some Usborne, some beautiful little picture books. This is a brand to kind of look out for, these Imagination Libraries. If you've ever seen these little logos, these are pretty vetted books. This is actually Dolly Parton's book company, and she sends out free books to kids under 5 years old. I think every month they get a free book or something like that. So it's a great program, and those books end up getting donated a lot as the kids grow out of them, and they're really cute stories. We've got some adult, some more kids, and again, just more kids kind of books. So this whole bundle here was $17. So she definitely used a coupon because market value on this one would have been 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. This was, I think, $27. Which would make sense if it's 17 and she probably used a $10 coupon. So this was supposed to be 27, but there is coupon spend. I will tell you guys how much coupon spend I did in this show real quick because it's obnoxious. My rewards program is awesome, but I set it up wrong and I've been eating a lot of the costs of it. So maybe I'll take some time to talk to you guys about the rewards program here in just a second as well, if I can remember. $95. $95 right out of my pocket just by having given buyers coupons to use within my show. So that's a lot. That's a lot of money coming out of my pocket, but it's fine. All right, next stack here, we have this whole bundle. This is another one. She must have used a coupon because this is also underpriced on my end, which is fine. That's just how it goes. So we have, let me see if I can kind of show it to you. We have airplane book. This is making paper airplanes. There's pieces of paper in there. We have a Santa Claus book, another Christmas book. I always love picking up these Ree Drummond cookbooks. I actually only do $3 on my cookbooks, which I think is one of the best deals on cookbooks you're going to find, because I also am picking up cookbooks that are like cool, good quality, and not a lot of just blandness in them. I want the recipes to look good. I want there to be pictures, and I want it to be in good shape. This is a book that went on auction. This one actually sold for $11 on auction, and I totally understand why. It goes through kind of like the historical history of Christmas. It's just absolutely gorgeous. So anytime you see these books that are just, they're to die for on the inside, it doesn't matter if the outside looks bland. If the inside has got good content, people will pay up for it. And then we got a bunch of these chapter books, little Usborne chapters, Geronimo Stiltons. These are really fun. Now, for books like this, I typically do $2 or $3 each. The hardcovers are definitely $3. Paperbacks tend to fall into the $2 range. So she only paid $21 for this bundle with $9 in shipping. Oh, and the last stack I showed you, that was... she paid $6 in shipping, but she had already bought something, and so overall she paid about $11 in shipping. This is another like $9. Oh, she also had bought something before then too, so she paid closer to like $15 in shipping, honestly. But this one sold for $21, but it's valued at, this one was valued at like $30. 30 or 31. So yeah, I think people were using a lot of $10 off coupons. My silver level unlocks a $10 coupon, I think. So totally fine. Just, that's where some of the profit goes. Up next, we have a really simple one. We have an auction and a buyer's givey. 1 to 2 book 6, which is this one. And then buyer's givey. Woo! Almost just fell. Buyer's givey, they get to pick a free book. So this is just two books here. Oh, and this one sold for $3, and then this one was free. Cost of goods, 50 cents, so it's fine. Then we had another auction win, 4-7-2. So this person came in and was just interested in manga, and I sent them to my shelf pictures in the auction tab. I didn't have to stop what I was doing. I was able to refer them to the pictures that I have. They picked out this one book and they said, hey, can I get this one book? And I said, sure, it's $2. My mangas are almost always $2. And so they grabbed that one. And then we can grab one more. Jenna, she's usually got a pretty, oh, she actually has a bigger pile today. Let's see, let's grab this. So she's right here. I've been loving Jenna's bundles because she's getting a lot of like my young adult books, which has been fun. So we've got, again, young adult down here, Colleen Hoover, Jenny Han series. She got this trilogy of Jenny Han for $12. So good deal there. And then we have some spice and some romance stuff. So fun little pile. And you can see this buyer is specifically looking for one kind of genre of books. This bundle was $26 and she spent $8.80 in shipping. Next up, we have a new buyer, somebody who's never bought from my show before, and they came in and bought all of these books in one sitting, which was so fun. Very excited about the holiday books, so we did go through those, and that is 90% of the stack. It is a ton of just holiday books for Thanksgiving and Christmas, and then we've got little Goldens here on the top, but a couple Dr. Seuss, but everything else is holiday. And then they also bought one book on auction, which this is the cutest little book. It's so vibrant and pretty. Again, sometimes it's the inside of a book that really like sells it. This one went for $7. So they spent $7 on the book, and your initial shipping cost on just this book was $5.65. So in a weird way, I will say there is a little bit of a cost difference, right? So it might only be $7 for this book, but in store it was $18.99. So when this book was on the shelf, it was $18.99, and it's still in great shape. But they had to pay almost $6 in shipping. So they still spent, $11 or $12 on this one book. So I guess there's that. But then they got discounted shipping on the rest of their stack. It was still $11. So their total shipping cost was $16 and some change on this whole order. But this entire bundle of all of these amazing Christmas books and holiday books, $46. So for me, $46 is awesome. Again, let's do a cost of goods breakdown because I think that's really helpful. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, $9 and $10. So $10 on everything. And my total total revenue from the sale was $53. Sorry. So $53. And then, yeah, they've got this amazing bundle of books. So for me, $46, good sale. For them, great deal. That's the goal. And that was a new buyer, like I said, and hopefully they will be back. All right, so I think it was perfect timing to have these two stacks next because a lot of the books I've shown you so far are a lot more modern, and that's what I specialize in, a lot more of the modern general fiction for adult and children's, but these are going to be geared a little bit more towards vintage, right? So this first stack here has these two beautiful vintage book of knowledge books, and they're old, but they're beautiful, like illustrated inside with like information and all kinds of different styles of illustrations. Gorgeous vintage books. Then they did end up getting a bunch of these leveled readers, which are fun. This particular buyer is really enjoying the Berenstain Bears right now, and so they're picking up pretty much everything Berenstain Bears in those leveled readers. So that's a fun thing that when I'm out in the wild and I see Berenstain and I know someone's going to be basically buying it, it's an automatic pickup for me, right? And then little Goldens have been going really well as well. And then this was a giveaway, but and then a young adult book. So little variety there. But I wanted to stick on the vintage theme. This is all vintage, right? So we have Richard Scarry. This is actually an auction book. Beautiful vintage. The Blind Men and the Elephant book, classic folktale, sold for $11. $11 for that one. That one went to auction. We have a pop-up haunted house book. Beautiful Grimm's Fairy Tales, and then a J.R.R. Tolkien, Return of the King. So all vintage here. So a lot of contrast you can see in the more modern books having an audience and these vintage style books having a large audience as well. And then for cost, Jess's bundle was $11, which 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, hers is actually $11. That's how much that was, minus the elephant book that went on auction. And then this pile was 12. Also must have had a coupon because the value on this one was 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 17. So must have had a little bit of a coupon or something like that. But yeah, that is those. Vintage does still sell, but yes, I do specialize in modern. We are exactly halfway, so I want to show you what it looks like. So this is some of the holes there, and then this is what it's looking like when I'm coming to the other room. I'm setting everything up here. So this is our very first order we pulled. You guys can kind of probably see some familiar books there. Then it comes down here, and this is 22. So this is half of them. So just half takes up that much space, which is wild. And we still have all of these to pick and pull into there. I want to talk about these next two orders because these are quite contrasting customers, right? So I have my first customer here. Next up on the list is a new customer, someone who's never bought from me before. I've never seen them before. And what was really cool about this customer and this buyer is that they actually came in on Tuesday's show and picked out a handful of books they were interested in. And then they were able to utilize the cubby system that I have. If you're familiar, I've talked about the cubby system before. It's a small pile book hold system that I have. It starts every week on Tuesday, and by Saturday you need to cash out your cubby, your bundle of books, and purchase everything, right? So they had just a couple of books they had picked out, some nice thin books. It was maybe, let's just say hypothetically this many. They put them in the cubby, then they came back on Saturday, and then they were able to get a bunch more, and they got some great stuff. They got just some awesome like kids books here, some Pete the Cat. They did some themed, we've got coloring books, and then a ton of these Peppa Pig books. But this is a new customer that came in and I think got a great deal and a great experience, not having to pay more shipping than they needed to. Their overall shipping cost only ended up being $8.02. If they had bought books from me on Tuesday, they would have spent a minimum of $5.65, because I know it was over a pound in books. And then they would have came back on Saturday and maybe seen more books they wanted and had to pay another $6 or $7 or $8. So now they've paid $12 or $13 or $14 in shipping versus $8. So that is why we do the cubby. And then in contrast, we have Lori. Lori is a super duper regular. She's been in my show, every show for like 2 years now. She's been around for a really long time. She's just a really, really great friend of the show. And she grabbed a couple of classics here. She got some Dr. Seuss. I can never not pick up an obscure Dr. Seuss and think that it's not going to sell. Lori will always buy any Dr. Seuss that's obscure, she doesn't have, or she's in need of. And then she did get this awesome How Do Dinos Say Happy Hanukkah book. So really nice to have new customers that you can come in and build a relationship with, and you know they're probably going to come back based on the things they bought, how much they bought, and the way they utilized your show, and how they kind of immediately just fit into it and felt good vibes and wanted to participate. And then you also have your loyal regulars who may not spend as much every single show, but will always be there to see if there's something that they're interested in purchasing. So loved having these two side by side to be able to show you. So let's keep on going. All right. Two bundles for Michelle, and then 12 to 15 for perfect. Got kids books in both of these piles, so lots of kids books. Two more stacks with honorable mentions. I actually have the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 orders are all from new buyers, someone who have never bought from me. I have 6 people who came in and made purchases, and I think part of that is the show length time. I was actually on for a little over 7 hours. I think we did about 7 to 7.5 hours. So it was quite a long show. So we gave people a lot of opportunity to come in and see lots of options to purchase. And a lot of people were shopping the shelves, which was great. So these two new buyers got some fun stuff. They got coloring, or it's like an activity coloring book, some leveled readers, a beautiful young adult book, like love that. And then some Stephen King's, which I think are important to mention. I do tend to pick up some of these like tall trade back and mass market paperback Stephen King's, but I do them for super cheap. These are typically super damaged. I do these for $2 each. I'm getting them for 25 cents. And then the taller trades, if they're in good shape, I do for $3. If they're in rough shape, I'll do for $2. So these are really simple, easy flips for Stephen King's for me. And this is a value draw. I have people that'll come in for Stephen King and maybe grab a few other things, which is exactly what happened in this situation. So they wanted that before they got any other stuff, which is cool. And then this other new buyer came in and bought a bunch of drawing books. So these are how to draw books. So big how to draws, mythical creatures, dinosaurs. There's a Frozen how to draw, baby animals, coloring book. And then they also ended up grabbing a chapter book, an adult chapter book. And for this stack here, they paid $15 for this whole bundle of coloring books and adult chapter book, $15. And then shipping was $8.80. So almost $9 because they are a little heavy, but still a great deal. And then this person's bundle was also $15 and they also paid $8.02 in shipping. So $30 worth of books just right here in two brand new buyers to the show. Next two bundles pulled for these other two new buyers. This one was another $15 bundle. So $15 and almost $10 paid in shipping, a little bit heavier, some drawing like anime books, as well as some Minecraft style books. And then this one I really want to mention. This one I can tell it's a new buyer, but also this person came in from a raid and they actually ended up winning the pinned up raid giveaway when we got raided, which was for this little lined, beautiful like elephant notebook. It's just a notebook. These are really simple raid giveaways, and you're going to find these when you're looking for books all over the place. Get them that are unused and in good condition, and these are perfect raid giveaways. They're also under £1, but I want to show you what ended up coming from that, right? So they won that giveaway, which gave them discounted shipping. So now if they wanted to buy something, their initial shipping cost is going to be a lot lower because I've already paid for the shipping to send them this book. So Whatnot now knows they're getting something sent to them anyway. Whatever else they buy is going to be a little discount on the shipping because you've already paid for the shipping. So they ended up coming in, and the first thing they wanted were these two Sanderson books. These are Brandon Sanderson Wheel of Time books. This is actually the last two books of the series. So super great deal here. And I started this little bundle, $4 each, $8 for the bundle. Multiple people were interested, and it ended up getting bid up to $22. So it was $22 on these two books here. And cost of goods on these two were actually free. These were given to me by a friend that I have in the book community, and she was purging a bunch of stuff, and she actually gave these to me for completely free. So super great turnaround on profit there. And then she also ended up grabbing this Stephen King Under the Dome Thickum paperback for $5. So I ended up turning in a new buyer who'd never bought in my show and came in through probably a raid, won the raid giveaway, or she may have been in there, who knows, but regardless, she won the raid giveaway and then ended up spending $27 in my show. And my cost of goods on this entire pile is 25 cents. So that was a really, really good profit and margin on a new buyer. So super, super good. And my cost, think about this, right? So like my cost of acquisition of that customer was this book. So this was 25 cents. And then my shipping paid is probably about $4.67 or whatever the initial base shipping rate is. So I'm in almost $5 to acquire a $27 sale, if that makes sense. So that was a really good like customer acquisition cost, if that makes sense. So utilize those raid giveaways if you can. It's really a lot of fun to have a ton of people come into your show and then offer something for free. It not only gives people a reason to stick around, but it makes people want to then see what other things that you have for sale. People are always looking for a good deal. So this is another new buyer. They ended up spending $26 on their bundle. And then one more new buyer here came in and grabbed some Wings of Fire. And they ended up spending $8 on their bundle. So that's the last stint of the 6 in a row of new buyers. So all of that was just from completely new people who had never purchased in my show before. So really, really exciting. I actually want to say something on this topic of new buyers, and I'm going to write it down on my list, and I will add it. And now the floor is empty. So all of the orders are from in here now to in here. This is going to be the tail end. These are the last 4 in the alphabetical order. And then it's going to come this way, going zigzagged back all the way to the beginning. So that is A, all the way through zigzagged, and then that is Z, literally at the end. So now we have everything in here. Now this is the fun part. I've got a bunch of boxes I just went and grabbed yesterday. Got to organize those over here into like our box section so these can be out of the way. I'm going to clean up all my paper from last week's shipping, and I might even do a trash run. I have like some trash and stuff in here that kind of needs to go out. So I might do a trash run, and then I'm going to come in and basically move my computer and start shipping all of these. All right, so let's just sit down and talk for a second. I want to talk about a few things, and the first one is the one that I think I'm going to probably get asked the most in the comments / just kind of the unspoken question is, how did you sell all that stuff? Like, I know there are a ton of you that have reached out to me saying like, I sell on Whatnot, I've done a few shows, I'm barely making sales, or I've made no sales. I don't know what I'm doing wrong, right? And so I know there's a few of you that are probably watching this going, how did she sell all that, right? How did I sell? I don't even know how many books it is. I didn't count, but it was a total sold of $753, which in reality was closer to $850 because we did $95 in coupon spend, but $750 in total sales. And I think the one thing that I need to say on this topic is it's kind of an interesting week for it to happen like this, right? I actually did something very different in this show than I don't normally do, and I really enjoyed it. In the past, we've done something called a movie night, which is where we basically stream a movie and I do a silent show. So the movie is playing in the background with sound, and I'm silent watching the movie with you all and just quietly showing books. And I actually never really do very good on those shows, but they're more for me. It's either I need a break from talking because I'm sick, I don't feel well, I'm mentally not in a good space, I don't feel like talking, maybe I just want to watch a movie myself and I'm gonna force you guys to watch a movie while I make some money, right? And those don't typically do super well for me, but what we did what we did on Saturday worked really well, which was a modified version of movie night, which is where I had a movie in the background, and I had the volume up enough that you could kind of hear it, but all of the movies except for one that we watched had subtitles on them. And they weren't really for you to watch the movie. It was just visual background. And then everything we were doing in the foreground was books. And we were talking about the books. I was selling the books. I was being a salesman trying to sell the books, but there was something visual for people to pop in and be like, oh, are they watching Toy Story 3? Or, oh, what movie is this? What are you guys watching? And then they get sucked in. Sometimes people have never seen the movie, or they've seen the movie and love it and want to watch it again. So the movie night thing worked really well in my favor this past weekend. And I definitely will be doing stuff like that in the future. And I did it because I've been so hoarse. I'm not sick. I have, I think, a respiratory infection, and it's causing me to cough a lot. And so I was trying to not talk as much as I normally would, which is why we did the movie night. But secondly is, outside of doing something different and fun that was for both me and the viewer and really facilitated an environment for people to want to hang out and be in the show, whether they were buying or not, they were physically there hanging out and showing that there was other people in the show, which would encourage other buyers to come in. But I noticed that, I was still doing my same things, even though I didn't feel good physically and definitely didn't feel good mentally. And I just was not in the mood to even do a show, but I had to. I still was doing the same things. I was organized and prepared. I had everything set up and ready to go. I was answering questions as they came in. I was still having a general personality that was approachable and kind. I was offering a good product, a good price. I was offering a fair system with the way we do bundling. I was explaining to people what was happening as new people were coming in. I was always referring people to check out the show notes. I was referring people to check out the store, to ask any questions and make any requests. I kept it fun and flowing with the movies. When the one ended, I just picked another one and put it in and kept it going and kept the vibes going. We didn't have any music on in the background, and I was just talking about the books and then occasionally talking about the movies, maybe pointing out a scene that was my favorite or something that was really crazy that was happening. We would stop and pause for the dramatic effect. But for the most part, outside of the movie, the show was the same as it always is. It was just a longer show than usual. I actually wanted to take you guys here into my gallery because I think this gives you a good behind the scenes of what the show actually looked like. So first up down here on the bottom, you can kind of see this is what the show setup looked like. This was the new inventory. We had 4 stacks of chapter, 2 stacks of picture and similar, and then some board books and educational. And this was me taking the up close pictures to put them in the auction tab so people at any time could pop in and see what we were going to be going through that night. And then I wanted to just show you guys this. This is actually what it looked like, right, when we were doing the movie night. So you can see here the TV there in the back. This was us watching Catch Me If You Can with, again, the subtitles on. Super fun. We watched Toy Story 3 first, which was a lot of fun. But this is me taking screenshots of books to put people into the buy it now. That's why I have all these random images here, but I just wanted to kind of show you like what it looked like. We then did eventually switch on over to Shrek, but you can kind of see, like, look at the vibe. It's such a vibe, right? So we have all the books in the foreground. We have the TV. You can see a peek of the shelves in the background. I've got something pinned up at the bottom there, as you can see. We had 25 people in the show at this point in time. And let's actually look at that. Let's look at how viewers changed throughout the show. Can we zoom in a little bit more? I think that's as far as I can zoom. So down here, we had 43 people in, and then let's see, 39, 36, 35, 32, 31, 29, 30, 29, 26, 24. You can see as the show went on, we definitely had lost some people, some of that high 30s count. We went back up to 29, 28, 27. So you can see it does fluctuate quite a bit throughout the night. And then again, that one ended. You can see there's the credits there. We went on to Monsters, Inc. So I'm just trying to show you guys the vibes here and just show you some of these piles also. You can see them up close in these pictures. But that's what it looked like. That's how we had it set up. And we actually ended the show kind of close. This was the very end. We ended the show with 22 people, which was kind of wild. We do not normally have that many people at the end of a show. So it was a good indicator that we were doing something right. I also looked at my analytics on this show. I don't remember what they are off the top of my head, but I was curious why I had made so many more sales than I feel like I typically do on a weekend. Even though we were on for, again, like I said, 7 hours, when I looked at the views on my shows, the last like 20 shows I've done have all been between 200 and like 500 views consistently. Like the last 20, not even exaggerating. Saturday's show was like 876 views. So there was either a lot of new people on the app, which I think is something to mention. I do think there were a lot of new people on the app, hence the amount of new buyers I had. There was a lot of people coming in and out of the show that had mentioned multiple times that this was their first time on Whatnot. But I think that it was just a good night, you know, it was good vibes, it was fun, and it was lighthearted, and I was offering good books at a good price. And that's, I think, ultimately the deal. So if you're asking the how question, that is how. It is been doing this for a long time. I have a trusted profile with tons of reviews, tons of items sold, tons of followers, and I'm doing giveaways. I'm encouraging some fun by having a movie on. I'm having a good light personality, and I'm selling good quality product at a good price. It's the right combination of stuff, right? So if you're hitting all those marks, you're giving people something to look at when they come in, and you're giving them value in your talking and the things you're showing, they're going to stick around and they're probably going to buy stuff from you. So I just want to address that how. I think that's really important. Next up, let's talk a little bit more about totals, which I mentioned. We did 753 sold. Now I did do $16.40 in giveaway spend. So that'll come out. I'm negative $16 when I look at my total earned. I'm negative. And then once I start processing orders, it'll go up, but I am down $16 that I spent on the 4 giveaways that I did. And those were the raid giveaways. The buyer's giveaways, some of that's included, maybe like 50 cents or 25 cents, but you don't pay a whole lot in buyer's giveaways. Usually on a Saturday, if I just did 6 buyer's giveaways, I think my payout or my shipping spend is like $3.50 usually, roughly. And then our coupon spend was $95. After everything is said and done, when I process all of these orders and the giveaway spend is taken into account, I will probably land roughly on I'm going to say $625 is probably going to be my payout, like $625 to maybe $640 is my guesstimate. Usually it's about $100 difference on a show this size, $753. So anywhere from like $625 to $650 is probably going to be my payout. That's my guess. And yeah, so pretty good show overall, really good. Now, I do want to talk just for a second about the rewards program with you guys. Some of you guys probably heard me talking about the rewards program. That's that total coupon spend. What it is that Whatnot has implemented is a new tiered rewards program where when buyers unlock certain things that you've set in place, they will then receive a reward in the form of like a coupon. So for example, the very first tier that every member can hit on anyone's profile is the bronze tier. And most people are going to hit that because there's always 3 ways to hit the bronze tier so that everyone can get involved without even having to make a purchase. All the subsequent tiers after that, you have to be a buyer. You have to make purchases to hit those tiers and unlock those coupons. So after the bronze tier, you can unlock the silver tier. And I have it pulled up here. So for my silver tier, to get a $10 off coupon, you need to spend both $75 or more. And you also need to purchase a minimum of 8 unique products. Again, that can be an auction, bundles, buy it now. Total of 8 products, as well as a total of $75, and you'll unlock the silver tier. And then it goes up from there. I'm not going to get into all the tiers, but there are 5 total tiers, and you can set them up pretty much however you like to either encourage a ton of people to be able to unlock the tiers with maybe some small rewards, or select amount of people to unlock certain tiers with bigger rewards, or however you want to do it. Right now, currently, my diamond tier is virtually unattainable, like completely unattainable, but my platinum tier is possibly attainable, but probably not. So I messed up the way I put them in. Every 3 months, you're going to get the option to renew or edit how you have your tier set up, which I, of course, will be going in and editing. And I will likely make a video on that and how you set them up and what you need to keep in mind, because that is a video that I would have loved to have had when this got released, that obviously couldn't have been released yet by a YouTuber because we were all struggling. No one knew what they were doing. And I think a lot of us set our tiers up wrong. That's the buyer rewards program. And I do think that it encourages new buyers as well as people who have already purchased or unlocked bronze tier and got that $5 off coupon to make a first purchase or to come back and make multiple more purchases. Okay, so I think that about sums up this video. I really hope that you guys enjoy me going through some of the like deep dives into the piles and kind of showing you physically what people are buying, how much they're paying for those books, what books are going on auction and how much they're selling for on auction, as well as some of like the cost of goods and then the total sales, as well as also just seeing it all laid out on the floor. Like, it's awesome to sell this many books, but you have to remember, I have to then now go ship all of those books. I need to make sure I have all the shipping supplies to ship them out properly so they arrive safely. And then I have to regenerate books to bring back as new inventory and eventually onto the shelves. My adult shelf is so empty right now, and so it's really great to make sales, but there's definitely a back end that a lot of people don't see, which is just like you have to keep doing it over and over again. So I'm going to go get shipping here in a second, but hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully you enjoyed a little bit of my like talk on the how I'm getting these people to make all these purchases, the rewards program, as well as kind of how the length of the show and the movie night kind of played into the possible revenue that I made. I think those things are definitely variables that matter. And so think about that when you're curating your shows. Is there anything new that you can bring to the table? Is there something you've been wanting to try, experiment, play, figure it out? It is a lot of fun to kind of trial and error on Whatnot, and people are really like flexible with you, and you're going to find your people when you start doing things that bring a crowd in. So try things, play around, and see what sticks, and then get rid of the stuff that doesn't work and just make it work for you. So hopefully that was helpful. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and get to shipping because I know this is gonna be almost an entire day's process of packing all those things up. If you liked the video, please hit that like button and definitely drop a comment below if you have any questions or comments. I love interacting with you guys down there in the comments. I appreciate you. Have a wonderful week until I see you next time. Thank you so much for watching, and bye. Future Amanda here, real quick popping in. I just wanted to show you guys what that all looks like when it's packed up. So definitely a majority of boxes, but there are some poly bags in there. But you can see this is all 44 orders now packaged completely. And I just got to get labels on them and take them to the post office.